Hey everybody, it's Mark, MrBookieboo here, and we are back with this week's Lego update. So, lots and lots of progress here in the mountains, as you can see. I'm actually going to show you, so I've been working on this a lot and spending a lot of time and effort, and I appreciate all the comments and feedback. So, if you're watching for the first time, if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you're subscribed. If you want to leave a comment, I'd love that. Likes are always appreciated too, all that good stuff. If you want to share this video, that'd be awesome. And check out some of the older content too. So this has kind of been an ongoing series I've been doing for a couple weeks now, where I'm taking you through this journey as I build a mountain. I've built a lot of mountains before, and what I found is in the past, I would build them and then kind of take pictures of the after effect, and y'all would be like, hey, like, how did you do that? So I thought this would be kind of an interesting way to get some content and to kind of walk you through this process as I go, like kind of week by week as I'm building this. And so, as you can see, compared to last week, we've made a whole lot of progress, which I'm pretty excited about. And the big focus for this week has been like a splashes of color, I'm going to call it. And so it might be what I title this video, I don't know. But one of the things that's kind of been my thing in the past is, the mountains with the burps and like the whole dark bluish gray. It's kind of been my color palette is dark bluish gray or light bluish gray if I'm building like my walls, right? So it's kind of just very monochrome, very simple colors. And what I really wanted was to try to branch out and kind of expand my own personal skill set and knowledge and just really try to add some little splashes of color here and there to kind of spruce things up a little bit, kind of make it stand out a little bit more. Because as you know, this isn't just a background piece anymore. This is actually what I'm going to be hoping to take and display next year on the convention circuit. So hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, this mountain will be you'll be able to see it in person. You'll be able to see it at the different shows that I go to. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. But in the meantime, so you can see here, this corner piece has kind of been the focus that I've been working on. And it's really starting to take shape. I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. So this, of course, is the side. And you can see, as I turn it here, you can see how it's kind of sloping upward. And you can actually see how drastic the sloping is. That's mainly because I want this thing to be tall, right? And I don't want to take up a whole lot of room. So as you can see, this is just a 32 by 32 base plate. This is going to be the extent of the mountain. All of my prior mountains that I've built, the ones in the city that you guys have seen for years now, they're all on 32 by 32 base plates. And you can see the heights you can get are pretty amazing when you work at this. One of the tricks, which I mentioned before, but I'll just mention quickly, is the retaining walls certainly help with that. Because right away, you're already kind of cheating up. This is, I don't know how many bricks tall it is. It's like 8 or 9 bricks tall. And so you're already, before you start building your mountain, you've already kind of given yourself a little boost. And so that really kind of helps when you're doing the mountain building, because now my mountains are starting here versus down at the bottom of the base plate where it's sloping, and you lose every slope back or every burp back, you lose, 1 or 2 studs depending on how you space them. And so if you start at the bottom, you're already, halfway to here when you start building before you even get to this level. Here, I'm all the way at the front, and so I can get way more height. So that's one of the first trick. The other thing I'm going to mention is, as you can see, this is where I'm experimenting with the splashes of color. Now, I've done that before with light bluish gray, just to kind of make like exposed rock face, that kind of a thing. This, I'm kind of like, maybe it's like more of like a Southwestern flair. My good friend Tim, I loved his Western layout. I saw that at Brick Rodeo. And I love the colors. He had the oranges and the nougats and the tans and stuff, and it was just beautiful. And he did it. His mountains are completely those colors, and it's just gorgeous. I didn't want to quite do that because I didn't want to abandon my dark bluish gray, right? That's like my thing. But what I decided was I wanted to try to incorporate these little splashes of color, and that's what you see here. So let me know what you guys think of this, because I love the color. I think it looks really good. I don't know how realistic it is for a mountain to have banded. I know banded coloring in mountains is common. I don't know how it is like repeating itself, but I don't know. I really like this, but let me know what you guys think about this. And then you can see as I get a little closer here. So basically it's just dark orange, medium nougat, and dark tan is what I did for this color palette. And I feel like it almost looks kind of, someone actually mentioned on Instagram, are you doing lava? And I was like, no, it's not really lava. It's more like clay or, something like that. But it could be lava, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe if that's what people want to call it, I think that's good. And then of course, just adding some greenery in here. You can see the plants just kind of, scattered in here. The plants actually have a little bit of depth. So there's actually the light green leaves, on top that are sitting underneath these plants, which are on top here. And so it's just really trying to add to the color, really trying to make it pop so that it's just not this big blob of gray. That's kind of been the focus here. Now, I also want to show you the really cool thing with this is you're wondering like, man, you know, Mark, how are you going to get this to the shows, right? Because this thing's already kind of massive, right? It's like, you know, it's not even done yet. We're going to go probably, it's going to end up, you know, here, hopefully, maybe a little taller. I don't know. I'm going to show you because this is actually this is a big part of what I've been talking about with the modularity and stuff. And I can actually demonstrate it for you. So there's actually 3 pieces here in the mountain in this upper level. The bottom level is pretty much set. And I kind of mentioned that last week. And actually, we'll back up real quick. So this is the back side of the mountain. It's really basic. It's on a Mills plate for stability. I just use random brick towers here. These are actually 4x4 brick towers to support the 16x16 plates on top. And these 16x16 plates are, you know, pretty sturdy. And that this is like a core, like kind of unit that I'm going to use. It's not going to be any taller than this right here. So this I figured out how to fit in the suitcase, and there'll be 4 of these because it's going to be, you know, the mountain as it carries on. But once I figured this out, the top part's where it gets interesting, and that's what I'm going to show you right now is how I made it modular. So looking at this, you say, oh, geez, where is that going to pop apart? But I've actually made it so that these mountain pieces come right out. So that's the corner piece popped out. This piece right here, this front piece, pops right out. And last but not least, this piece here, same thing, pops right out. So you're left with, and you're actually going to see how I do it. So you're left with this kind of platform that it sits on. So these are just plates stacked with tiles on top, and these are what the mountain pieces rest on, so that it doesn't fall backwards. And then the pieces, they actually sit on these little bits right here, which you can't really see. And actually, they actually popped out, but you can see them. Like for example, on this modular piece right here. See those? There's 2x4 brick on the bottom there. That's what actually holds it in place. So if we pop it back on here, you can see how it's going to sit together. And I'm going to set it down so I don't drop it because I would be a cry if this thing fell apart. But basically, that piece is going to go there. This is the other piece in the front. It's the same idea. It doesn't sit, all the studs don't sit on top of studs because it's going to be really hard to pry it apart. So you want to kind of break it up a little bit. Just have a few studs here and there that it sits on. And then of course you want to support the backside. So the backside of the burps, as they start sloping, you know, it starts to flex and bend. So you want to be really aware of that as you're doing this. And so you can see how I solve that is by building it up with a little bit of foundational support here. And so that's how I take care of that. And this piece is actually loose on here. I have to fix that, but that's okay. You still get the idea though, right? So this piece again is going to pop right on here. And of course, last but not least is our corner piece, which is really simple, right? There's not a lot to it. And it's the same idea. It just slides right in here. And you'll notice, if you can see it real carefully in this corner here and over here, it doesn't actually attach to the side mountain pieces. It actually, these are just tiles right here that it just lays on top of. So the main supporting unit is the bottom, and that just slides in there, and voila, we have our mountain. Pretty cool, right? I was like pretty happy when I figured that out. I was like, oh geez, you know? And so the idea again is the mountains are gonna be like that all the way up. So you're gonna have these modular mountain pieces, and you can see this is kind of one that I've worked up a little bit. This one's actually, I'm experimenting because I wanna have more of an alcove or a cutout of the mountain here. So this burp in the middle is actually set back further than like the normal ones I would do, which this one over here is more of a normal, more traditional burp wall. But you can see how it's supported so that the top ones don't kind of fold over on themselves. And as you go up, you're gonna have to add more supports behind the mountain here, which I'll show you as we get further along building this thing. But you can kind of see how these are really sturdy, really stable. This one doesn't have any texturing yet. It's just a raw burps. We'll add slopes, we'll add different color, we'll add plants and things to these as we go. And then they just kind of snap on here like this. And then of course, like this one will eventually snap on top like that. Although I don't have it set to snap on yet, but you get the idea. And it's just, we just go up, up, up from there. So that's where we're at. Lots of progress. This is really tedious though. So all this rock work down here, it's basically a whole bunch of like 1x1s and 1x1 rounds. So it's kind of tedious, but it's really actually very fun and relaxing too, I guess, to do it. But yeah, I feel like it's going pretty good. What do you guys think? Let me know. So that's it for this week's update. This has been kind of fun. I struggled with this. Actually, I had to sit and think about this for days, and then I just said, you know what, I'm just going to break down and do it. And then I kind of did it, and then I didn't like it, and I redid it, and then I did, back and forth. Again, that's the beauty of Lego. You can do that. If you don't like it, tear it apart. If you don't like an official set, change it. You can mess around. You can make it your own. That's the beauty of it, right? But that's kind of where we're at. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate the comments, the likes, the shares, all that stuff, and just each and every one of you as well. You're all amazing, and you're what makes this hobby so great. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back real soon. Take care. Bye.